everyone, and welcome to Nap Time News. My name is Chelsea, and let's get into today's topic. We have some news actually about Lilo and Stitch, the live action remake. You can find my review for that movie here on this page. I overall, just to summarize it, I pretty much liked it. There were a couple things that were different than the original, but overall, it didn't really take away from the movie, even though the internet freaked out about it. So, for more on that, you can watch that video and I'll post it at the end of this one. So, today we're actually looking at the box office result that Lilo and Stitch has made now. So, we are going to go to this article here which says that Lilo and Stitch just beat a major Marvel movie at the box office. So, this is huge because in the past, the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies have always done really well at the box office, especially during the Infinity Saga, which started from Iron Man and finished all the way up until Avengers Endgame. So, the movies and TV that came after it, not that great. And because of those movies that didn't do that well, they lost a good portion of their audience. And now every time the MCU comes out with something, people aren't excited about it anymore. The box office shows. But with this article here, it says that Disney's live action Lilo and Stitch continues its dominant run at the box office, now achieving a new milestone by surpassing one of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's most acclaimed films. The family blockbuster has officially crossed $408.5 million dollars at the domestic box office, pushing it past the $408.08 million lifetime domestic gross of 2016's Captain America Civil War. Now, I don't know if this is adjusted for inflation. I'm assuming so. It doesn't really say here. Continuing on, this victory over a major MCU team up film is just the latest accomplishment for the remake, which currently stands at $972.7 million dollars globally and is steadily approaching the $1 billion mark. I totally called this kind of as a half joke at the end of my Lilo and Stitch review. I said, in the words of Alan Ing from Film Threat, congratulations, Disney, you made $1 billion. They're right on their way to doing that, which is kind of funny, but also not really surprising because of how close that they stayed to the original with this one. It's like Disney, look what happens when you actually respect the original IP to a certain extent and just remake exactly what they did in the animated film. And you'll have success. And the box office shows the numbers don't lie most of the time. So continuing on, it says its performance has already made it the highest grossing Hollywood release of the year, overtaking a Minecraft movie's 954.9 million, and has proven to be a much needed critical and commercial juggernaut for the studio. A Minecraft movie did really well at the box office, and it was a whole entire craze. The whole chicken jockey thing went viral, and just the videos. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but I was just amazed at the videos and all the young people that came out to the movie theaters because young people, especially Gen Z nowadays, most of them don't want to go to the movie theater. They'd rather just watch YouTube or TikTok, for that quick instant gratification, not sitting through a 2 hour plus movie at the theater. So, having seen all of those young people there at Minecraft movie, granted, they were acting a fool and doing just all types of not very nice things. One person even brought a live chicken in. Yeah, it's just look it up online if you haven't heard about it. It's ridiculous. And I do not condone that behavior. And if I was their parents, I would be ashamed of myself, or at least I would have punished my child accordingly if I found that my son was there. So, anyway, but the Minecraft movie was super popular. And the fact that Lilo and Stitch surpassed that is actually pretty significant. So, continuing on, it says Lilo and Stitch stormed out of the gate over Memorial Day weekend with a staggering $182.6 million 4 day domestic debut and held the number one spot on the box office charts for 3 consecutive weeks. We haven't seen that from a Disney movie since I don't know when. So, that was actually something significant as well. This sustained performance allowed it to steadily climb the charts, eclipsing other major releases. Internationally, the live action remake has already surpassed the foreign box office totals of other significant MCU entries, including Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 and 3. So, the consistent success of Lilo and Stitch has given Disney the confidence to move forward quickly with the franchise's future. And I totally called this as well. I said if they wanted to do a sequel, they better do it now and they better do it quick while, they have their audience's attention. Because if they wait too long, people are just going to forget about it and they're going to have a hard time bringing that audience back in with the second Lilo and Stitch movie. Plus, if they want to keep the same actress for Lilo, she's going to grow up really fast. Anybody that has kids can tell you kids grow up super fast. So they need to start filming this right away before she gets too old. So, pretty much it says here that before the film's release, Disney had a difficult run at the 2025 box office with several high profile projects underperforming. And it's mainly talking about Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolts. Yeah, because they were crap. Thunderbolts was just all about mental health and people crying. And then Captain America Brave New World didn't even have the real Captain America in it. The real Captain America to me is Steve Rogers, not Sam Wilson. They should have kept Sam Wilson as Falcon. And again, that's a whole nother thing. But I can understand why these two films just bombed at the box office because, again, it's not what people want, it's not what the audience wants. In addition, the studio also saw its new original Pixar film, Elio, post the lowest opening weekend in the animation studio's storied history. So I had meant to go see Elio. I may still go see it at some point to post my review, but I did hear it's not good. There's a lot of things that is wrong with it. The animation is not that great. It's sloppy, out of range, and it's just not done very well. Like you can tell people that worked on it didn't know how to do animation. So hopefully I'll get to see that and get my review up on this channel soon. So keep posted for that. So moving on, it says what Lilo and Stitch's success means for Disney's remake strategy. So I guess Disney is continuing on with these remakes. They're not stopping. It's full steam ahead. And I think a lot of it has to do with they had a lot of remakes lined up, all ready to go as far as starting production. So I think they're just going to have to keep chugging the ones out that they've already done and maybe putting a hold on other ones that maybe haven't gone too far into production, like Tangled, like I mentioned in another video, how Tangled, the remake for that has been put on hold. So here it's just talking about how Lilo and Stitch's victory, it arrives at a critical time for Disney because of all the flops that they've had in the past. The prequel, Mufasa the Lion King, didn't have a good opening. Snow White, abysmal, which rightfully so. These recent disappointments, this article says, created serious questions about the long term viability of the entire initiative. Are they finally understanding that maybe this isn't such a good idea, that maybe these remakes aren't that great of an idea? So we'll have to wait and see with that. So the article continues saying Lilo and Stitch has answered those questions decisively, proving that massive commercial success is still achievable if the studio adheres to a specific formula. The key to its success appears to be its faithfulness to the beloved animated original, a lesson that is now causing a complete overhaul of the planned Hercules remake. Thank God. For me, I love the movie Hercules, the original animated movie, and I'm actually excited for this one. I know I just crapped on remakes and maybe they shouldn't be doing them, but this is one that they could actually work if it's done right. And the fact that they're redoing a lot of the work that they've already done on the movie is promising. And maybe, just maybe, Disney has learned their lesson. But don't hold your breath because they could still mess it up. But again, we'll have to wait and see with that. So it looks like producers Joe and Anthony Russo, so the Russo brothers who have done Avengers Endgame, and they actually are bringing them back for the newer Avengers movies as well that are coming out in the near future. And then also director Guy Ritchie, who did Aladdin. I'm assuming that's the remake, Aladdin with Will Smith. I actually liked that one too. I didn't think it was as bad as the other ones. Yeah, there was a couple things here and there that they could have done better. And I didn't really like Jasmine's song. It didn't really need to be in there. It gave it a more feminist feel to it than really focusing on Aladdin. But overall, they got a lot of the world accurate. The original songs they did keep in there, which was great. But I just don't think they need to be adding new songs. They could just enhance the ones that are already there because they're the ones that people know and love and forget about the putting new crap in there. So I think that's what they're learning their lesson with, especially with Lilo and Stitch. So it says with the Russo brothers and Guy Ritchie attached to this Hercules movie. So again, I don't know if they're going to both or all three of them are going to be involved in Hercules. Again, it's too early to tell and there's rumors and stuff. So we'll just have to wait and see with that. But it says the live action Hercules would have reportedly axed the iconic musical numbers in favor of an action heavy tone. And this is the problem because if they truly would have nixed all of the musical elements of it, all the songs, I would not be happy and people would not be happy because the songs in there is like over like a good part of the movie, especially the whole opening in the Hercules original animated film, is they have this whole musical sequence featuring the muses. And so it's a wonderful song. It sets up the movie perfectly. So if they were going to take that out, that would be taking out some of the magic from the original movie. So they need to put that back in there. And there are tons of African American female singers that could make up those muses. That would be amazing because the muses have such a great voice and they have a couple songs here and there. So if you get some powerhouse singers like Beyonce, Jennifer Hudson, just to name a few. Michelle Williams, I know they're all from Destiny's Child, but you have so many options available for strong singers that could play the muses, which would be awesome, honestly. Given that note, the article says, however, the runaway success of Lilo and Stitch has convinced the studio to change course. Disney is now pushing for a faithful adaptation of the 1997 animated film, directly crediting the box office returns of its latest hit as the reason for the pivot. So we've all heard faithful adaptation before, coming from the producers of the new Harry Potter TV show. And look what they did with that. Now, I know this is not the same studio. That's Warner Brothers slash HBO. This is Disney. But if Disney can pull off a true faithful adaptation of the original animated film of Hercules, that would really turn things around for them. And it could be a step in the right direction. Now, it's not going to make everybody else all of a sudden be like, oh, Disney, you're great again. It's not going to do that, but it is a step in the right direction. And if they keep making those baby steps in the right direction, then maybe, just maybe, can come back and continue to put out movies and TV shows that are family friendly and wholesome and not having subliminal, horrible messaging in it like they've been doing. Let's go back to the classic Disney, the Disney from the 90s, especially, because that's where all of their super popular blockbuster movies came from. So I also think that Disney needs an overhaul in their management. I know that overhaul is not going to happen completely, but hopefully the people that are there will see this. And I think Disney is seeing the writing on the wall finally. So we'll see what happens. We'll have to wait and see with this. Hopefully things will turn around, but again, I'm carefully optimistic about it, but at the same time, I'm not holding my breath. But not to be super pessimistic, but I always an optimistic type of person. And hopefully this time, because of the success of Lilo and Stitch, hopefully maybe they've learned their lesson. And I actually have said that too in my Lilo and Stitch review. It's like, do you think they've learned their lesson? Probably not, but maybe they did, and we'll find out. As I hear more information about the Hercules movie, just like the Tangled movie, I will let you guys know. And that's about it. So be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.